Hey guys, welcome back to Bait and Tackle, and today I'm going to be talking about our new swim bait that I came up with called the Tombstone Kicker. Okay, it is a 4-inch bait with a coffin style tail. Now I had a lot of problems. At first I wanted to do something like a craw type tail where it would just flap and roll in the breeze, but I think you really have to do injection for something like that, and we may do that in the future. Just FYI, I'm just talking out loud here. So we may end up doing like a redesign on this bait in particular and doing what I wanted to do, which was like a craw style tail off the back, which I'm not sure that anybody's really tried to do something like that. But this bait came out very cool. So I wanted to just show you guys kind of the steps on what I did to do this. So I started to carve the original out of wood, and I was having so many issues with the tail that I ended up cutting the tail. I ended up actually taking this is the original, and it had like just a flat tail, but it ran backwards like that. Well, that didn't do crap. It just didn't work at all. So I made a mold out of that guy, and I replicated it with resin and like smooth cast. And then what I did was I cut the tail off and I made that. So I made a coffin shaped tail and just glued it together and did it all nice. And then I made a mold of this. Well, the only problem I had there was the finish on this is really rough, and it's not smooth, right? Because the wood, for whatever reason, the wood didn't take as well, and I didn't have the hook slot in, which I added in after the fact anyway. So I added the hook slot, added the tail, and I got to be honest, this thing swims beautifully. And I'm going to add some swimming footage into this video, probably after this, and then before we wrap the video. But I wanted to kind of just show you guys what I went through to get this thing done. So I had this. So after I did that, I made another mold, then made more of these. I made a whole bunch of resin copies. And what I did was, instead of putting poly on them or whatever, which yellows and it just doesn't look good, and then it falls off after a certain time anyway, and I was having a lot of problems with that. So what I ended up doing was I took one of these resin copies, and I used this Chinese UV resin that I found on Amazon, and I gotta tell you, this stuff works awesome. This is what I use on some of my jig head eyes and stuff like that to just give them a clear glossy coat and just seal them into the bait a little bit better, and that kind of thing. So this stuff is amazing. I use it all the time. But I used it on this, and my only thought was, is that going to interact with the Umu silicone? And I'm going to tell you right now, it does not. And all I had to do was do a thin coat. Now, it may react, that UV resin may react with other silicones. I just want you to be wary of that. Don't use this on other silicones, or just try it. If you want to test it out, try it. So I've done a couple molds off of one of these already with that clear coat on, and it comes out perfect. It comes out shiny. The bait comes out shiny. This is one of the baits right here. You can see when I tilt it against the light, see how shiny it is? I mean, it did a great job clear coating that bait and just giving it a nice high gloss finish. Okay, now I did not do the inside where the hook slot is, but I feel like I didn't really need to do that. I mean, why would I do that? It doesn't make sense. So anyway, so here's the bait. It's got a beautiful hook slot in it. You can see that it starts way up here to give you the maximum hookup ratio, because the hook will actually come up through here and it'll come way the heck up because of how much more space it's got to lean through. So when you screw it in that nose right there, it's got that gap to go all the way down through to the back. I think a 4/0 works really well on this, and I actually caught a fish on this too. I will include some of the pictures of that in this video as well. So this came out really good. It swims like a champ. It's awesome. I love this bait. It does resemble the AI swim bait a little bit. I just wanted to be clear about that. I wanted to make something this shape, but it's a little bit different. Obviously, I don't have the detail. The fins are a little different. The gill plates are a little bit different. So I went different, but I wanted it the same type of profile, but different, right? And obviously the coffin shaped tail is completely different from what they run. So I wanted to do it something different than what they got. I'm sure the proportions aren't the same at all compared to the AI one. So this was hand carved. I hand carved this myself. Right there is a proof. It's completely hand carved out of wood. I just did it all myself, just sitting in a hotel room whittling away at a piece of wood. So that was in my thought process, was AI style, slimmer, thinner up and down, thinner left and right. Obviously you've seen my big-eyed fathead, it's a lot bigger. So profile wise, great bait. This will have definitely a lot better chance of catching some of the smaller bass and not concentrating on some of the big ones like the big-eyed fathead does, right? And the big-eyed fathead really was designed to catch bigger fish and have that big eye so that you could really do something cool, something different, right? So that was the idea, right? So this one is just kind of it's a swim bait, a 4-inch, really good all around for just bass fishing and anything you want to do. But that tail is awesome, unbelievable. It twists and it shakes and rolls. I can't describe it. I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to show you some video footage actually right now, and then we'll come back to this, and I will kind of wrap this up and show you a little bit more about how I did these molds. Okay, you guys. Today we're here talking about the newest bait and tackle bait in the lineup. And I'm watching a huge group. I don't know if you can see them out there, but it's a huge group of red horse suckers. And I mean like, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, probably about 25 to 30 of them, all just running around. See them right there? Pretty wild. I didn't know there were that many in here. I don't know if it's spawning time or what. There's actually a bunch more over here to the left. Anyway, we're actually here to talk about the new bait and tackle bait. This is the Tombstone Kicker. And one of the guys that helped name this bait, he is going to get taken care of with a free mold of this bait. It is 4 inches long profile. It has a coffin style craw, or a coffin style tail rather. It takes 8mm eyes. It has a really nice hook slot in the bottom for a very good hookup ratio. I'll show you that. And we'll actually go back to this is a 4/0 swim bait hook with a little bit of weight, and it's got a pretty good hookup ratio there. So very open. But I want to get some swim footage of this for you guys for a video. And what I'm going to do is we're going to get some footage here, but I think we're going to hop back and forth between the shop and the creek. Alright, so I've got my pole together. I want to see if you guys can see this. I'm going to rifle it out there by the red horse suckers. I don't think they're going to bite it, but you never know. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but it's got some really good action. And the red horse suckers are not interested in it at all. Now what I would like to do is set up this underwater camera that I've got. Let me see if I can scare the crap out of them. Yeah, they're not interested. I bet you if I had some worms on a hook, they'd be interested though. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get some water footage somehow. I wanted to get some underwater footage, but I don't have the right shoes on right now for this. I probably should have brought my sandals. So I guess we're going to have to wait on that. Maybe I can come back. But anyway, I want to give you guys some really good footage of this tail, because it thumps really good. know if you guys can see that right there. I think I got an eyeball coming off. Oh no, just really looked like it was coming off. Anyway, so it has a very, very nice thumping action. It waves side to side, really hard. This is a medium blend plastic, which is what I anticipated people using for it. You could probably harden the plastic up if you wanted to, but I'm telling you, the action on this is incredible. Now, I've already caught one fish on it. Man, under the water, it really gives the appearance that eyeball's falling off, but it's not. I don't know if I can get you guys close enough to see this, but maybe I can run it by the camera a few times. The water's really clear. Let's see if I can keep it under the water. Just get a couple good shots of how good she wobbles. That's really all we need. Try not to get it too close to the top of the water. But she does good. She does really good. And I don't know if you can see me doing this or not, but I'm just gonna cast it across the bank a few more times and retrieve it just so you guys can see what she does. I swear that eyeball keeps coming off. Yeah, it is. Oh well. The eyeball is coming off, but that's okay. Again, I'm just trying to give you guys some swim footage. There's a big old bluegill or bass sitting in the bottom of the channel over here watching this bait. Oh, I just got chased by something. That was pretty funny. Anyway, so this is the newest swim bait. It's a very slim line lineup. This is a lot like the AI 4-inch swim bait. I kind of wanted that sleek profile, but I also wanted a different type of tail. I just had another thing chase this. That's pretty funny. So again, wanted a very sleek tail. Wanted something that kicks real hard, a little bit different from a traditional rounded paddle tail. So coffin shape was definitely on the top of my list. I typically go with a square tail, but I did the square tail on my last bait, and I figured I wanted to change it up and do something else. And I'm really trying to crank it down the thing here. You probably can't see it, but I've had a couple fish follow it already. Fish that are way too small to bite it. But anyway, so I just wanted to give you guys a visual. Oh, I just scared the crap out of a whole bunch of those red horse suckers. But that tail really, really thumps. Might take it somewhere else, see if I can get you guys some better swim video from somewhere else. Again, I really don't have the shoes for it right now, but this is the bait, guys. The Tombstone kicker. Awesome. So I'm going to be selling this as soon as I get some things finalized. I'm in the process of making some more of the molds right now, and I will keep you guys posted. Hopefully I can get some underwater footage of this thing for you. Okay, so now that you've seen how it swims and everything, I'm going to just show you the layout. And I'm pretty sure I've showed you guys this before. This is what I do for all of my molds. So I get a nice piece of really thick, it's almost 1/4 inch, but not quite. I can't remember what the size is, but it's probably, yeah, it's probably a little less. I got a tape or a little measuring stick right here. It's about 3/8, really. 3/8 thick Lexand. Okay, plexiglass, whatever you guys want to call it. I cut it to this size. I buy these mold parts off of Amazon. I can't remember the brand right now. I want to say it's NicPro, NICPRO. Okay, and it is on Amazon. I will link that below this video. You guys can see where I got them from and pick some up if you're interested in doing this kind of thing. But it comes with more pieces, so you can go wider, longer, whatever way you want to do it. Okay, but this, I modeled this one the same size as the Big-Eyed Fathead, except it's just a little shallower as far as the mold's a little bit thinner, not as thick, right? So there's the bait sitting in there on the Lexand, ready to pour. So I've got 2 of these right now made up. But again, the thing that I really wanted to press was that you could use this UV resin to clear coat a bait like that, a resin copy, and it comes out really good. Now, I will keep you up to date on that. Hopefully, after time, it doesn't start peeling off and sticking to the silicone. I hope it doesn't do that. But so far, from what I've seen, as long as it's cured on there. And the one thing I've been doing about curing these is I do have a UV tank over here that I use. But I found that after I use it in the UV tank for a little bit, let it set up, it's still a little bit like sticky, like tiny bit sticky. Even after sitting there for like 30 minutes, it's still a little bit sticky. So I will take it outside, let it sit in the sun for about, 10 minutes or so, and it is hard as a rock, no more sticky at all. Just with it sitting in the actual sun, baking in actual UV rays, it's way better than using any of those UV lights. And I'm not sure what the problem is, because I got the right wavelength on those lights that I have in that box. I just don't know if it's just too much going on in there. I don't know. Maybe I got to back it off a little bit. I'm not too sure. But, and I also found that I use a little bit of I found a small UV flashlight, and that works really well too. So it may be a wavelength issue on the UV lights. Anyway, so great stuff to use, coating resin copies to make them shiny, glossy, and that way you get a nice gloss finish on your bait. But there it is, guys, the Tombstone Kicker. I love it. This bait is amazing. I mean, it is awesome. And like I said, I'm going to be using this from now on, but I will sell this mold. It's probably going to end up being probably like $35 and then shipping. So if you guys are interested, just hit me up on Instagram. That's where I usually do my transactions for any kind of sale on molds or whatever. So I'm probably going to start doing more of a drop type style where I'm going to make up a bunch, and then I'll just make a post and say, okay guys, I have these, whoever wants them, message me. Okay, so I may start doing that too, because it just makes it a little bit easier for me, instead of people asking me all the time, and then if I don't have time, I got to tell them, well, it's going to be a week or two, that kind of thing. So I think drop style is probably the best way to do that. But anyway, guys, that's the new bait, the Tombstone Kicker. I'm so excited, so excited. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love your continued support and my endeavors in trying to make more baits for you guys. And I think I'm really going down this road. I'm going to end up probably starting to do more of making baits and making silicone molds. I really enjoy doing that. Next, I would like to try to maybe do some injection style molds, possibly. I'm not sure yet. I've got a couple ideas I'd like to do. Carving them is probably not a problem, but getting them into a mold, that may be a little bit more of an issue, just because I haven't really done that yet. And I want to do some lead molds at some point too. So, but again, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, remember to keep on baiting.